right, so this is Joseph Beck.
Hi, Joseph.
He and Brittany are our upline, and he is going to kind of go over some things with you, kind of the same things that we went over with Davidian on Friday, and kind of help you understand a little bit better as to how the ranks go and how you have to have the customers or whatnot, any other questions that you may have.
And we're recording this, so Raquel will have a chance to view it. Is that right?
Yes, it is recording now.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so what do you want to start with?
Well, I have a quick thing I just want to clear up. I sort of had an epiphany of what we were talking about in our call, and I want to just clarify if my understanding is correct.
Okay.
My feeling is that ranks, star rank, bronze level, all that is somewhat of an honorific, kind of an empty honorific when you're just starting out and you don't yet have that foundation in place. It's just kind of like a sticker on a teacher's chart saying, good job, keep up the good work. And once you have the foundation, once you have the runners under you, once you have the smart ships, once you have some revenue generating going on, that's really when the rank comes into play. But before you have that foundation, it's sort of like, nice job, you got to bronze level, but really, it really doesn't do anything for you other than show you that you got what it takes to get there. Keep up the good work. Is that right?
Of sorts, yeah. I mean, until you have the actual levels in place that you're getting that bonus you're picking up on of getting paid deeper.
Right.
First few ranks, star, bronze, silver, there's not really any additional benefits aside from the depth that you start developing. And so the way the comp plan was developed was that, a lot of people don't come in and run to star or bronze their very first month. So it takes them a couple months, and then they actually build a little bit of depth in their team. So they tried to make it coincide in depth with about where a typical organization would be at each of those ranks. So you're right in that if you're first month in and you've kind of just built a level 1 or maybe even a level 2 and you kind of run to star or bronze, it is kind of just a pat on the back at that point. You're not going to get a huge, and I was pulling up the comp plan here, you're not getting a huge benefit. At star, you do unlock your third level, and you pick up an extra 5% there. But if you don't have a third level,
right,
all you're getting really is a recognition on that. Starting at gold and then going up, there's a few other little bonuses and stuff that you unlock, the ability to earn, and some of our leadership bonuses that you do unlock on some of those higher levels.
And those are all post gold?
Yeah, that starts at gold.
Okay.
On those.
All right. And again, so you basically, everything resets to 0 after the month, including your rank. So basically what helps you build your rank back up much quicker than it would, just starting out with no foundation, like however it took me to get to bronze. Once I have the foundation in place, I mean, you're going to be quickly going up through the ranks because you have all these things going on, all these pies in the oven, so to speak, that you didn't have before. So you quickly rise those rank levels through the month with everything, all the activity that's going to be generated under you, right?
Right. Yeah. So, once you've built a sizable organization, so I know Misty has been at this for, almost 2 years now. So, how much, not to, reveal, and it's not a bragging thing, but being at this 2 years and you've built a sizable team under you, what rank are you currently at?
I am ambassador.
You're ambassador now?
Okay. Yeah.
No, I mean like right now on the month.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was like, you knew that, but hey.
No, I know you're ambassador. Yeah. Now, what rank are you at today on the third day of the month?
Okay, let me look. I haven't honestly even looked.
And the reason I ask that is because all of the people that have been recruited into Misty's organization or in her downline are already in place. And so they're contributing, just like you said, to that that rank. So as you're growing your organization, all the people are there, and she may only be a like a bronze right this very second.
Bronze, I am. Mm-hmm.
Bronze. And so a lot of that comes to having the customers every month that order, but the volume is going to be kind of there waiting on her as she unlocks all those. And like we talked about the other day, is it's retroactive. So if you hit ambassador on the last day of the month, you're getting paid that whole month as an ambassador. So I hope that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so I was talking to Brittany earlier about this, and I was kind of like, so, and kind of just talking about our conversation a little bit. And we were talking about how in network marketing, it is a little bit different. Each month you start at zero. And she was like, well, think about a car salesman. Every month they have a quota that they have to meet that starts back at zero. But a car salesman that's been at it for 10 years has a big calling list, has a big customer list, so that each month their goals are going to be a little easier to get to, if that makes sense.
They have a base salary too, though.
Right, I know that, but I mean, it was kind of the same. It starts over at zero.
Minus the base salary. I got you.
Yeah.
But what was I going to say? I feel that I would not have had the win taken out of my sales with the reset thing, with the rank, and if I had approached it, or it was communicated to me slightly differently. The way that I will probably communicate it to my downline moving forward is as far as the rank is concerned, is to let them know up front that the rank is kind of a pat on the back at first. What you really want to focus on, rather than going up ranks, you're going to want that in place. But what you really want to do is develop your foundation. You want to get your elopreneurs. You want to get your customers. Focus on that. Focus on your first level and your second level and being a support to those levels. Don't worry so much about rank, because that rank is really not going to come into play for you until those foundations are developed. And I'll bet that this is kind of goes without saying in MLM or in direct sales in general. If you have an experience with it, these things are probably old hat and not something that needs to be explicitly said. But if you're me, this is the first time I'm dipping my toes in this kind of thing, that would have really helped me out in not feeling bad when my rank resets. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I would have just been like, all right, well, that doesn't even matter. Yeah, that's great. And that's, but it doesn't mean anything until you develop your team.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things that we take for granted a bit, because, I mean, I do remember the first time I encountered that. And like I told you the other day, it was, I was discouraged too. I had the exact same reaction. I'm like, wait, I've got to do this every month. It starts back at zero. At this point, though, now that I've been around it for a couple years, it's pretty, I understand it to be the fairly standard process with it. And so we kind of, I guess, assume that people know the things that we know, because it's one of those things that we are used to. But yeah, that's a good point that you made there, about, letting people know up front. Don't let it get discouraging, because, while recognition is massive, it's not everything to everybody.
Right. Right. And that might be one of those things, like you were saying earlier, a red versus green type of conversation. Exactly. I'd like to just ask real quick what Alexis might be, if any questions that came up for her in this.
Are you speaking? Are you speaking? Yeah. I'm sorry, you cut out for a second.
Sorry. I was just going to say, what kind of questions would you like to have answered?
Yes. Well, one thing I would like to say, thank you for having the call. First of all, everybody. I know everybody's busy. It's a Sunday evening, so thank you for that. And the other thing is, I wanted to say that I agree with Davidian, because I didn't know that was the regular structure of MLM. I've definitely signed up for, and any experience that I've had with MLM, like, for example, I signed up with Young Living in 1992. I've only used the oils myself, and I haven't really made any money in the business, so to speak. So I'm not really sure what QV means, for example. What does the QV mean?
You're going to see like a lot of acronyms, like QRV is like qualified rank volume. Let me see. I was pulling up the comp plan a second ago. Let me see if I have it right here because it's got a big list of all of the acronyms.
Okay.
Let's see. And I want to say they were changing a little bit of our stuff from one terminology to another. And I want to say it was RV. They changed to QV, which is just retail volume or rank volume to qualifying volume. And it's 5 different names for the same thing, essentially. You know, it's rank that goes, it's volume that goes toward your rank.
Okay. So, my understanding several different times was, basically to have sign up people to be Ellepreneurs, and they would build with us as a team, and they would be, and I would be in the upline of that. But I didn't realize that enrolling someone when they would be a customer into having them be an Ellepreneur would be a detriment for myself, if that makes sense.
Yes, we talked about that example. I think it was that your sister had signed up as a customer and
Right.
then upgraded to Ellepreneur, and it took that customer qualifier back away from you.
Mm-hmm.
It shouldn't. I mean, I agreed with you guys that it shouldn't do that, and it's going to be a conversation that we have with the company about having that stay. So with that being said, the caveat I'll add to that, not in any kind of justification for that, because I agree with you 100% wholeheartedly that should be the way it is, but more of the challenge that we're going to face with that and the difficulty we're going to face with that is that we've kind of outgrown our programmers, if that makes sense. And to have it, so it kind of just like is a light switch in programming. You're a customer, you're not a customer. And once they upgrade to Ellepreneur, they're no longer a customer. So the programming there, I think it not necessarily that it was an oversight, but it's just it was easier to get it programmed that way. As we move forward, it's going to be something we push to have at least them stay as a customer for that entire month. And then maybe next month that'll reset and they won't be a customer anymore, if that makes sense. But the challenge being getting it programmed properly. I don't doubt that it's something we can get done eventually, but it won't be an overnight process. I'll just be 100% honest with you and transparent. Our programmers are adequate in a startup phase, but we're kind of growing out of them, and I don't know what their plan is from that perspective as far as the company goes. But we're going to need a little better support on some of those things. And like I said, 100% agree with you that a customer in, say, the month of October should be a customer for the entire month of October, even if they upgrade, because you shouldn't be penalized for doing what you should be doing, if that makes sense.
Yes. And penalized is a really good word, because I kind of feel like there's a part of me that was experiencing this particular company sort of like win-lose rather than, win-win.
Right. No, I totally understand where you're coming from. The good news, if it's any consolation prize, is based off of your newness with the company and where your organization had been built. You didn't lose out on anything by not getting the rank qualifier other than the recognition, which, like I said earlier, is massively important, but financially you didn't take a hit because of it. So hopefully you understand that, and that's okay. And because you hit the rank of star, if I understood that correctly, but it was the customer qualifier that switching out that knocked you back out of it. We're fully happy with acknowledging you as a star. I mean, it's just kind of a badge at this point, kind of like what Davidian was saying, is it's kind of stickered on a paper. It is just recognition. But that's
concern. I'm not so much about the recognition, but I don't feel like it is, to be honest. And I feel like that there's a different way that I would have put the chips, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I understand.
And I would have probably built in November rather than to, make a disaster of October, if that makes sense.
Well,
So
I don't want you to feel that way about it.
I do.
Because you laid some groundwork in October that's going to help you out here in November. I mean, you got a new Elapreneur in place that's going to be getting started and have the entire month of November. And sure, yeah, you could have enrolled them here on November 1st and it'd have been the same thing. But
No, I think it would be different, right?
how so?
I think it would have been different because she would have had more time in November to actually build beyond the rank that she reached at Star. Plus, all of the people under her would have had more time to also elevate to a higher rank. And ultimately, it would have come back to be probably more profitable had she gone that route rather than kind of blew everything on October, which was, that helped. That just helped her upline, to be frank, rather than it helping her and her people. Whereas, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, so you're talking about like, so she probably joined like with a kit or something like that in October, and so that volume went toward October rather than going for you in November.
Exactly that.
Gotcha. Okay, I understand that, and it's I don't have a good answer for it. I understand where you're coming from. I do. It's there's always possibly a better way to do it, but you can't. The thing about it, you can't wait forever. I would, love having someone, even if I got them enrolled the last day of the month, having them hit the ground running the first of the next month, even if I miss out on a little bit of the volume, because now they're here in November ready to go run too, if that makes sense. So, but I do understand where you're coming from.
I think what made things weird is that October was special anyway because of the show special and the double points and everything that's sort of an aberration anyway that wouldn't repeat in another type of scenario.
Correct.
And all the sort of bugginess that had to do with, things not being updated in a timely manner. So you couldn't get like a real clear read on where you're at and just all sorts of things. It was just kind of like a comedy of errors, I think, a little bit.
Absolutely. Yeah. You kind of started with a bad taste in your mouth. It just, you kind of came in at a time where there was some struggles with, volume updating and the double volume and this and that. And in your guys' case, it didn't amount to really anything. The money that was made on it was the same money that had been made on it today.
Let me ask you a real frank question.
Sure.
Like a real, I don't know. What would happen if things were returned and those points were reestablished another time? Like, because of the way that, like, how could Alexis get to where she could start fresh as November instead of everything that happened in October towards the end, since clearly the communication was off. There was a miscommunication, a misunderstanding. In order to right the ship, start off in the right way, how can we make this right?
It wouldn't be easy, to be honest, because if there was any product ordered, that would have to be returned, especially if it's already been shipped out, and you would have to pay the shipping to return it. That's just kind of our return policy, is that you pay the shipping to return.
The thing is that she lives 4 miles away from Plano, so she could just hand deliver it, really.
Yeah, I mean, you could probably do that. And then the other thing is they would have to resign as an Elapreneur, and you would lose out on the $49 enrollment fee. Like, that's non-refundable.
Could they not? Could she not just return the kit and then reorder it, since they have a month now?
It's possible. I mean, that would just kind of be a question would have to escalate up to customer service. The best way to handle that if we wanted to try to make that happen.
Could you try to do that? Because I think that the way things are at, and I don't think this is going to be something that's, obviously habitual, because we're going to make it super, like, crystal clear to people what to expect and how to best serve them and their people. We want this to be win-win-win. You know what I mean? You want the rising tide to raise all boats in this upline and downline. So I really think that this is a sort of an odd circumstance. This is not going to be a strategy by any means of something that I'd be communicating, but I think in Alexis's situation, I think it requires special consideration.
Well, so let me ask a couple questions just so I know kind of what I was involved here. What are we talking about returning? Just the $500 kit?
Well, what do you recommend in order to have Alexis be feeling good about the situation? What can she return comfortably to make? Yeah.
Here's my concern. If
Okay.
it's a $500 kit, that's $1,000 in volume, and that's $1,000 volume returned against every person above you. So it may knock somebody out of a rank. It may be, it may do a lot of different things. So as far as we call customer service and say, hey, we would like to move the 1,000 in volume from October to November, they may just say no.
Well, you could do $1,000 bonus for me, and then I won't consider not doing this at all. No, I'm just kidding. But I'm serious.
No, but that's a reasonable thing to say, I think. I think that, look, I mean, I'm sure it's the case with you as well, but integrity, we're quite, I don't know if you know our background, Joseph.
I don't.
We're quite spiritual folks, and we have our own followings in, you mentioned, I forgot which personality assessment tool. We're deep in one called Human Design, which can literally blow your mind. I think it does seem to with several people, but integrity is like top on our list. I feel horrible about anyone in our upline losing points, but at the same time, in integrity, it's important that when you're encouraging someone to do something, that it benefits them, not just you, or else this is not going to last. It's going to be top heavy real soon, and it just will not be sustainable. So it has to be a win-win situation. And it should not have been communicated to, not communicated, but it should have been communicated that there has to be a way. The strategy should have been communicated that it may have been in Alexis's best interest to wait until November, with the caveat, if you think that your sister can get a client and get those double points, so she also elevates it. Well, again, I'm going back to the rank thing, and the rank thing is just simply an honorific in the beginning. It's not like you're going to get anything extra by even going to gold your first month without any sort of volume or what am I trying to say?
Well, can I interject?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So I feel like what you're trying to say is it's like lighting a fire or igniting a fire, and then all of a sudden someone pours a bucket of water on it. And so I feel like if I were to start how I started, and had this understanding of what I was going to be, doing, I would have enrolled everyone November and built and started a really, really, and used my passion, my encouragement, my loyalty, my drive, all of those, all those qualities that I know that I have and I can move forward with and make it profitable. Now I'm a little bit tentative. I'm a little bit on the fence about, is this really something that I want? Is this a business that I feel like will be fair?
Yeah, well, I'll just tell you right now, Alexis, I'm 100% okay.
But at least,
did I not unmute myself? Yeah. So I'm 100% okay with you sending your kit back. I mean, 1,000,000%. It does not bother me in the least. I would rather help you in any way that I can. So what you guys, I would just, when she gets it, I would just take it back over there.
Well, we need to have a conversation with corporate before we just show up with it. Because we need to figure out what the best way to do it. The other thing to be aware of, and I don't think it's going to matter to you guys, was the promotion for double volume was only through October 31st. So while you got 1,000 in volume in October for it, if it was returned, repurchased, or however it was shifted, it would only be 500 in volume in November, which I don't think is going to matter to you.
Right. At this stage, it won't matter, right?
Right.
I mean, if we're 9 months into this, if we're 9 months deep and we have everything going on, then yeah, that's going to matter lots. But when we're in foundation stage of just building our team, it's probably not going to make a lick.
Right.
Yeah. So
I want to say this. Let me make a phone call tomorrow when customer service opens. I'll call our head of customer support, and I'm going to just ask them kind of their feedback on the situation. Now, just so I'm clear on all parties involved, who is between Misty and Alexis as far as lineage goes?
it's Davidian. This Raquel and Davidian
Okay, so Raquel and Davidian are directly to you?
under me. Yeah.
Okay, so then it's us. So and then above that, it's Maria, Judy. So yeah, there's no one that return on volume is going to affect. So it's not gonna. Yeah, it won't matter.
Yeah.
So this is like the ideal scenario in that particular, like something like this to come up. It's going to hurt the fewest amount of people, right?
Yeah, if there was
Right.
there's no one really going to hurt. And if there was somebody right above you guys that just like buy $1,000, hit like Royal Black Diamond, I would be like, oh, let's figure out something else we can do, you know. But you know, with it being as it is, we'll make a phone call tomorrow morning and see what the best way we can do this is.
Awesome.
And
Yeah.
and if they want to push back on it, we'll find a creative solution.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
Yeah, if customer service by chance won't do anything, we'll just buy $500 worth of product under you, Alexis. So we will make it right on our end, whether customer service works with us or not. We will get that extra 500
If we
because
go the route with customer service, we're going to do that.
Yeah.
I mean,
yes,
that's
yeah,
the
obviously.
cleanest way of doing things. If not, though, we'll make it right.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. That's really
No
great.
problem.
That's really great. Thank you so much. And I also have, so I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3 Elapreneurs that I enrolled, and that should I have had them just be customers first, because there's a client of mine and she is a little bit put off by the, I guess by the way that it was kind of, I had her sign up and she did the 250, and then I was trying to promote her doing the 500, and then it just kind of ended up, and I don't know why I would have done, I don't see how that would have been a benefit for me at the time, other than, you know, like the pat on the back.
The double points. And that's what everybody was pushing for October, was because it
wouldn't have mattered to me for double points.
I think Alexis is saying she would like to return all Elapreneurs to add all Elapreneurs to November, not just one, but all of them, so she can hit November robustly rather than this. It wasn't just one thing. It was all previous Elapreneurs she had signed up.
So let me, when did you sign up, Alexis?
I signed up, I believe it was Friday of the conference. Was that right?
Was it $49 when you signed up?
No.
No, it was $99. So it could have been like the Friday before Raquel left.
Gotcha. And then everybody you signed up was at the $49 under the promotion stuff? You said you signed up 3?
Yes.
Okay. What all did they buy? I know you said one bought a $500 kit. What did the other 2 buy?
Well, I don't know everything that my sister purchased, because we looked at all the different products, and then she was and I told her, evaluated which one she should get for which person. But when I looked on my, you know, on the, I forget what you call it. I'm so sorry. The diagram that tells you, you know, how many, I was at star level at one point, just 1 sale away. And then I made 2 sales, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So Justine ended up getting just the $250 one and signed up as an Elapreneur. And then Scotty signed up with, he didn't, well, I was told that you had a month to sign to order either the 250 or the 500. So I just encouraged him to just sign up as an Elapreneur and then get the bundle that had the new Zest in it. So that was like the 184 or something like that.
She has 4 Ellapreneurs under her.
Okay. Aside from like, what all kits were purchased? I mean, let's start there.
A 250 and a 500.
250 and 500. Because those were the ones that were bought at a double volume. That would have been 1,500 in volume. And that would have been but in the fast starts.
Also mine, I purchased it as well.
You bought a kit as well?
Yes.
But you didn't get the double volume or rank volume for your own purchases.
Oh, okay.
Because getting rank volume on your own purchase was only a thing through that program. It's actually something we're pushing to get. Getting rank volume for your own purchase was only through that promo. It's something we're actually going to push to get them to keep. Not double, but just getting rank volume for your own purchase. But it's something that was only through that promo. So you wouldn't have gotten any rank volume on your own kit. Now, what I will say, it just kind of something that you brought up that where you kind of felt an integrity question, in getting someone to sign a kit and all that. I don't want you to feel like your integrity was any less for trying to get anyone to buy anything more or anything like that, because the $500 kit versus the $250 kit is a better deal financially, and it gets people started on the right foot with samples to ready to build their business and all those things. So, I mean, it's absolutely the right move for you to do, even if it was the wrong timing. So
can I ask you something about that real quick?
Sure.
Now that the app is happening and the app sends out, all you pay for is postage, why would someone even want to buy the kit to begin with at this point?
Well, we keep samples on hand to give out in person.
Okay. But you're talking about $500 of money you wouldn't have to do through the app, right?
Possibly. We gave out 300 samples our very first month. So, I mean, we were just...
Yeah, you always want to have samples on hand because, I mean, you think about it, you're in the grocery store, you run into somebody, you always want to have samples on hand.
Yeah, we give them to everybody we run into pretty much.
That's an interesting idea, to have them with you when you're out and about.
Yeah.
We keep them on us at all times. I've got them in my car. I got them in my backpack. They're always with me.
You just hand out the packet, or do you do the whole, folder?
I try to do a whole dose. I position it as a duo, and they buy it as a duo.
Wait, a 6-day dose?
No.
The combo, the dose.
Oh, right.
Coffee
right.
plus Xanthamax is the
you
way I
sell those?
Sometimes I do. Free samples a lot of times go unsampled.
What do you $5, $10? What do you?
$5-10. Or if they're in my town, sometimes I just say, hey, PayPal me $3 and I'll ship it to you, just so they pay something for it.
Right. So they have some
money
in the game,
financial something tied to it. So then they're going to buy the product.
They have to see some sort of value to it.
Right.
Some money in the game, some fat in the game, whatever.
Free samples never get tried.
Okay. That's true. I believe in that.
Yeah.
So, but we do. Yeah, we keep samples on hand. We probably will continue because it's the way we've always done it. The app is new. So we like the system we have. We can write a little handwritten thank you note with it and put it in the mail and send it. We like that system. And it's pretty much the same thing as what the company's going to send. We can do it here though. And, just handle it ourselves and do it the way we always have done it. Or if we want to do a 3-day sample or a 5 or a 6-day sample, we can do that too. Cause the glue dots are in the kit. Like you get glue dots here that you can stick on the card and do it however you want to do it. So we'll continue to do.
And the card mentions everything. It doesn't mention, it mentions the coffee and the hot chocolate drink or the drink.
It should, yeah. I hadn't even really looked at it in detail. Yeah.
And the Xantho.
And it actually has zest on here too.
Oh, wow. That's forward thinking.
Yeah. Has
Did they talk about when they're going to have sample packets of that?
Early November was the last thing I heard. So any day now.
Okay. So might when these combos, these happiest combos get reordered, do you think there's a possibility that they're going to be have the zest in them?
Yes. I'm 100% sure they will.
Wow.
So
still 2020, 2020, or, I mean, how that works?
I don't know. I don't know how they're
Okay.
going to distribute it,
Fair
but they want to eventually get it in there, though. I know that was a goal.
Okay. So real quick, just to clarify, Alexis is going to wait to hear back from you. Is that correct, on the best way for her to handle
Yeah, what I'll probably do is I'll probably communicate through Misty.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
And I'll call our customer service line that we have tomorrow morning and just explain the situation, explain what's going on, and kind of explain that it's not really going to hurt anyone, and ask them, because they may have a more creative solution than anything we can come up with about the best way to do this. But most specifically for your girl that's there in Plano, because the other one I'm assuming is probably not in Plano, so they'd have to actually mail it in if they return it. And
No, that's not accurate. Everybody's local.
oh, are they? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just making assumptions. So we can find out what the best way to do it is, and if we can't come up with anything else, we'll figure out a solution.
But you think the worst case scenario just is that they won't get their $49 back, but the rest will be taken care of?
Well, you wouldn't want your $49 taken care of, because unless they're not wanting to be an Elpreneur anymore.
Well,
no, they are, but will they still have a crack at getting the happiest combo in November if they passed it up?
Yeah, I don't want to.
Yes, because you have a month.
Too far.
Yeah.
You have a month. Okay.
Yeah, let's kind of put that whole thing, punt that till I can have that conversation tomorrow.
Okay.
And because I don't want to speculate too far. I don't want to set any possible bad expectations or under expectations for what it might be. But I'm going to tell you this: if it's like too much, like if they're like, yeah, we can make this work, but it's going to be a matter of this, and this, then I'm going to be like, you know what? Don't worry about it. We'll figure out a better solution.
All right, we'll practice our for he's a jolly good fellow on our end.
There you go.
We'll for sure get it taken care of, and you will for sure get your volume for this month, Alexa. Sorry.
That's okay.
Don't stress. Stay excited.
Yes. Yes, okay. For sure.
We'll get you taken care of. But, what I will say, though, in defense of, and I know, you guys kind of talked about, integrity, the promo that was there of getting double rank volume for your own purchase and some of those things, while it benefited some people above you, I don't think it benefited anybody to the point of hitting a rank or even making that much money, because, Alexis, you made the bulk of the commission on all of that volume. So it wasn't anything where anyone was saying, hey, go do this because it's going to, benefit me. We wanted everyone to get started in that month because I loved the idea of having someone come in on the last 3 days of the month and be able to hit our first rank. I think that's huge. That's massive. I know it's just recognition, but
I understand that I really didn't hit that rank.
Right. And the only reason you didn't is because you had a customer upgrade, which I 100% am on board with it, that being dumb.
Well, and another thing too, is I did have a personal order of $180 that was credited with points, and then it was taken off.
So he's talking about the Hempelevate bottles at the show.
Yeah, so she bought 3 bottles of Hempelevate, and it was a error on corporate's part where they actually put it in as a refund and instead of a purchase. So they had the volume, and then the volume was taken away. So I called and talked to them, and they said yes, it was absolutely an error on their part. They gave the volume back.
Gotcha. So it's just been a mess.
And there's another thing too. I mean, but all of these things, I'm just kind of, you can see from my perspective, like what I'm wondering, what did I get myself and people that I love and care about into.
Sure. What was the other thing?
The other thing was I was in a group, and then I was supposedly a mistake, but it all happened. Sorry.
I think you faded out.
Yeah, you cut out there just a little bit. You were in a group, and what happened?
No, I was in a group on Facebook. I was taken out of the group, and everybody said Misty said it was an accident, but it all kind of happened, simultaneously. So I was wondering, going on, you know, with this company.
Yeah, it's in my group, Team Elite, and it said that, you know, how it tells you exactly who takes who out of the group or who adds who to a group. Well, it said that Amber Chipman had deleted Alexis. And so when she brought it to my attention, I went, look, yes, it said that. I immediately called, messaged Amber, and she sent me a voicemail saying she had no idea how this happened. She didn't even know who Alexis is, never even heard her name. And I even forwarded Amber's message to Alexis so that she wouldn't think it was just me saying that she said this, that you could tell in her voice she was 100% sincere. You know, she's like, I don't even know how to delete somebody. So I don't think for a second that she did that intentionally. I think it was definitely a mishap.
Right.
But yeah, everything just happened at the wrong time.
Kids have done stuff, but yeah, it just all piled up at once. So
yeah.
So what I'll say, and again, not a justification, because yes, you have been through it, but we are still, as far as our company goes, a startup. Like for example, the Hemplovate situation, because of all the stuff with the U.S. Treasury, we've decided that we're not going to carry any kind of CBD or hemp products. So what they did was they did a fire sale, and it's the first time our company's ever done anything like that, where they kind of carry a product and did a fire sale. So because it's the first time they did anything, there was errors. Same thing with the promo. The promo that we just came out of was the first promo we've ever run as a company. We've never run a sale even. So of course we're going to run into errors with that. So where we're at is, because we're still, even though we are right about 2 years old, we're still very much a startup, and there's going to be issues, and there's going to be problems, and there's going to be errors. Unfortunately, in this situation, a lot of those stacked up on you, and you felt them. And you know, I hate that was the case, and I hope that we can keep you excited and keep you wanting to do this, because you signed up for a reason to start with. But the integrity of our company, the culture of our company is absolutely there's no ill intent ever. I mean, that I've ever seen with anything in this company or any of the people in it. And it's not a place, especially within our team, that it belongs. So if people are, you know, pushing product for no reason, or pushing their team to buy product they don't really need, it's not something we promote or anything like that. So I hate that you ever had to question integrity or anything like that. It's not something we ever want, especially within our team, but even more so within the company. So we want to make you feel good about everything. So we'll do our best on everything we can do. But, you know, that being said, there are going to be issues. And I'm not saying it's going to be smooth from here on out, because we are still startup. You know, Canada is a mess. So if you've got anybody wanting to sign up in Canada, they're going to deal with it times 10, because we're just now getting into international expansion. And so, you know, that's where just some of it comes with a little bit of a setting expectations about, you know, the grace that we have to give our company and certain things, with it being the first time that we've dealt with a lot of issues. Like I said earlier, we've kind of outgrown our programmer a little bit. So when it comes to things like programming promos and the way things work, that's where sometimes we hit some snafus and issues. Our customer service team is rapidly expanding because of the volume that we do every month. And so we've got a lot of people that are in customer service that aren't super trained yet. They kind of just get shoved into the fire. So, you know, we deal with things at times, and it's kind of part of it right now, and with it being in a startup. But the upside of being in a startup is you get to be one of the first people sharing a product, and a product that people, from everything we've ever seen, are super excited about, and is working really, really well, and building businesses for people. So I don't know if that made you feel any better, but kind of an explanation about what you've experienced.
Can I ask a couple of quick questions?
Sure.
One is, I was under the impression that the chocolate drink did not have caffeine. It has 85 milligrams of caffeine. I'd been telling people it doesn't have it, and they weren't too thrilled when they tried it, and were counting sheep well into the morning.
So I'll explain that. So
yeah.
we've through all of our products, we've gone through basically 3 versions. We had our original version, which on the Chocolate didn't have, actually all it had was the natural caffeine. That was right about 5 milligrams. It's actually less than what's in decaf coffee. It is
Right.
So it didn't have the caffeine. Well, the FDA came down and said that the 2-amino 6 or whatever DMHA had to come out of all products. That's not just our company, it's all companies and all supplements anywhere that had that in it. So our formulator went back to the drawing board, and the way our products work and the way some of the stuff is everything's in a stack. And I'm sure you've heard that before if you've ever dealt with supplements. It's a stack, you know. And the way the stack works is everything kind of partners with something else.
Right.
And so the caffeine in our product, especially the coffee, is a carrier, because caffeine thins the blood. It gets in your bloodstream a little quicker. Well, with our Choclavate, that wasn't needed on that first version, but they thought when they were going to reformulate it was going to have to be. So when they didn't tell us anything in advance that it was going to have a little bit more caffeine in it, so we pushed back. And then also with version 2, there was some issues here and there with it because it was very rushed. It was like, oh, we got to do it now because the FDA kind of came in on that one product or one ingredient. So
for what reason?
They just said that there was not enough evidence on it. But if either one of you were at convention, Kevin spoke about it from stage. He's our formulator. He talked about how we're actually filing the claims to get it reevaluated and do all the proper studies. That there's certain things that it qualifies as that the FDA are saying it doesn't.
Okay.
So anyway, and for the time being though, they've blocked all importing of that ingredient into the U.S. So we had to make a change.
Is there going to be a drink that has no caffeine that we can offer to people who are
Chocolate version 3 is back to 5 milligrams to, kind of get to that answer there.
Where is that?
It should start shipping this month.
Okay.
But because of not being able to get that DMHA in, they had to make something quickly. And that's what we're dealing with right now on the Choclavate.
Is there any way to get a replacement for the Choclavate we have?
We can do a couple things. They can either hold it until the new one's actually in.
Okay.
And I guess it's in manufacturing now. It's just not in the hands of our shipping facilities.
I mean, the same goes not just with the tubs, but also the packets are going to be that way, right? The samples?
Yes. The timeline aren't always going to line up exactly like this day we now have all new chocolate. It may be tubs come in, then the sticks, or vice versa.
But I mean, is there going to be a different SKU, or how do I, when I'm ordering, to make sure I get the new product and don't get what's on the shelf as far as the caffeinated version? How do
once the new one's in, the old one's going, where they're actually writing off over $1 million worth of product.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's to me, goes back to that integrity piece. They decided that they didn't want to do that.
What about the folders? Will the folders need to be updated?
No.
Okay.
The current Choclavate on the website, I think, is the new one. Like what's being put up there, but I'll find out a timeline of exactly when it's going to start shipping. The coffee's already shipping in version 3, but I think the Choclavate's like this week. But don't quote me on that. I will find out for sure though, and I'll pass the information down through Misty.
And nitro is very confusing. I know it helps with nitrous oxide, but when somebody sees nitro, they're going to think like Monster, like it's going to like be extra caffeinated, or you know what I mean?
I think it has 134 milligrams.
It has actually less than the coffee in general. It's kind of like a bad name choice, but
it's a stronger stimulant.
Pardon?
Caffeine is not the only stimulant we have in our products. So
no, that's true. Are you saying that I know that they say because of the beans, it's more stimulating because it's Colombian roast, but is that much more stimulating?
I mean, we have PEA in it too, which is a stimulant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's actually a little bit more stimulating, and because of the vasodilation, it hits you a little.
Okay, so it is kind of a nitro. Okay.
Yeah.
It is.
Okay.
I find it to
me.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. To me, the nitro hits harder, but doesn't last as long. So I stick with the original coffee. My parents drink nitro; they like it better.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
My dad drinks like 2 or 3 cups of it a day.
Oh wow.
So, but he's like a pot of coffee a day guy. So, for me, I stuck with the original blend. He likes nitro better. I mean, to each their own.
Right.
So it's another option out there, but it does hit harder. It just doesn't last as long in my experience with it.
Gotcha. Well, I have one more question. If I want to have, does the Zest have caffeine?
Yes, 40 milligrams.
40. Okay, so it has the least amount. Well, no, the Choclavate, the new Chocolate will have the least.
Yeah,
amount.
the Zest is actually designed to be not a morning drink the way the caffeine, like the coffee is. It's designed to be like an afternoon pick-me-up type drink.
Gotcha.
I was looking around the Yellowpreneur site I looked at commissions. I wanted to see where's the best way for me to know how much money is coming in
Mm-hmm.
and where things are at and the check that's been cut, so to speak. Where do I get a read on that?
Okay, so if you go to commissions, then go to commission reports. Then there's one called Unilevel report. That one's going to tell you where your volume exists, on what level, and how much you're making off of it, and kind of gives you a live update read throughout the month. But you'll get an actual commission statement. Usually we get it around the 9th or 10th, and that's going to be what your monthly check is. Your weekly statements just kind of come weekly, usually on Tuesday or Wednesday. But those are under commission statements.
So the weekly will not show up on the Unilevel?
It doesn't. Your Unilevel is only your monthly.
Okay. And and so where I'm looking at estimated earnings, I look that bottom line across, and that's what is going to hit the bank account or whatever.
Right. And like, we talked about this the other day, that is kind of an estimated line, depending, returns and whatnot. Yeah.
Barring no returns, is it accurate?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, ours, because of returns, is usually it's only slightly off.
Okay.
Like it's less than a 1% difference on what it actually ends up being for us.
I see. Is there anything else you think we should know?
No, we're excited to have you guys. We hope that, I understand that you've been through a lot and that, it's been a mess. We've fully acknowledged that. I hope that it's not been enough to discourage you guys, because like I said earlier, you joined for a reason. Y'all wanted to do something here, whether that's build a business or share it with a couple friends. So hopefully that hasn't changed for you guys. Hopefully, in speaking with me and Misty, we've helped restore a little bit of your faith, and you guys feel some of our integrity, and we hope kind of pad what's going on with the company, that it's not an intentional anything. It's just, some of it's inexperience, some of it's just, freak accident, so we, just hope you guys feel a little better about everything, and, hope, we'll do everything we can to help make it better.
I appreciate you saying that. I think we'll feel even better after your conversation with corporate to find out how this.
And again, they may say, they may come back with this super convoluted, messy path that we have to get to where we want to get to. And at that point, we'll figure something else out.
All right. Well, we're going to pray for you.
It'll be a fun conversation.
Yeah. And thank you so much for, Misty, for saying that you would have the call Saturday, Sunday, and then confirming it actually happening. That really restored my trust as well.
You cut out. You cut out, Alexis.
So sorry. I said that did restore my trust, because I thought, are they really going to have a call at 6 o'clock on Sunday? I did have that, I guess.
It would have happened yesterday, but my daughter's birthday party was yesterday. So
I'm so happy. Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Aw.
So
but I'm happy.
Had a busy day yesterday.
I must have cut out. I just wanted to say that I appreciate it being a strong intention to have it, Saturday or Sunday, and actually fulfilled and it happening. So thank you, is what I'm saying.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. That's one thing that you will find with us is both of us are on the same page with this. Is we're all about our team. I mean, if it comes to, helping you guys out, we're going to be there. We're going to make it work. We're going to do right by you guys. And so that's one thing that you'll find with our whole team. That's how it works with us.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you both for your help and your time and your insight.
Absolutely.
Much appreciated.
Very much.
Absolutely. Well, I will get this video uploaded and send it to you, Vivian, so that you can show Raquel. And then we will talk with you guys tomorrow.
Sounds good.
Misty, I'll get with you tomorrow sometime.
Okay,
Sounds perfect.
Nice to meet you, Joseph. Thank you.
You too.
Thank you, Joseph.
Bye, guys.
Thank you, Misty.
Bye, guys. Thanks so much.
Bye, Alexis.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
All right. Yeah, I'm done.